Intro video. Good morning. We are at Gressoney, 200 kilometers at Geants with Francesca Canepa.
Good morning.
It is a very sad day for you after winning the last 2 years. Yesterday you were disqualified upon arrival at Donas, 149 kilometers when you were leading the race. Well, it must have been devastating.
Yeah, sure. Really devastating. Yeah.
I truly appreciate you coming out and talking openly to me and you know, letting your side of the story be told.
Sure, it's a great opportunity for me because I know my truth, but maybe it's not right to say this. It's the truth. It's not my truth. I did all the race. And the only opportunity I have is to allow people to ask me something and to answer, because it's right.
A great Spanish poet, Antonio Machado, wrote almost an identical sentence: "Your truth? No, the truth. And please come together with me and let's look for it together." So let's look back to Tour de Geants 2013 first. It was your second victory, fighting with Nerea, and it was a bit bittersweet because there were also some questions asked there. So how do you remember the race last year?
It has been a really hard race because I knew that Nerea was a really strong opponent, and I respect her a lot, and so I was aware that the race would be difficult from the beginning, but my problem was that I have some blisters on the feet, and so when it was a little, I know that people may ask them something because I did some part of the race really strong and other really slow.
Yeah. Let me recount. Last year I posted 3 official questions to the organization and the 3 were answered. But I think it would be good to remember. My first question was, does the rule allow for pacers to go with the runner through the race?
And not really a pacer, somebody who do a little street with the athlete.
Yeah, and the rules of Tour de Geants allow for it. For example, Bruno Brunot never runs alone. Bruno Brunot runs in a team of 3 people all the time. Okay, second question that I posted last year was, is it allowed for a runner to go in a private area and close access to the press so I cannot take pictures?
And yes, it was.
Yes, the reason was that the organization claims it is necessary to guarantee some privacy to the
because
runners.
For example, in Donas last year I need a lot of surgery because I was really in a bad shape with the feet, so it's obvious that I don't want camera because I'm suffering, I'm in pain. And it's not good, but there is anything to...
I understand that, but obviously you understand that we journalists love to see everything. Sure. It's our job and...
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so it was legal, it was not my ideal as a journalist, but it was all within the rules. And my third question was, at some parts of the race, you were going faster than Iker.
I know.
How do you achieve that?
It happens frequently because I know that during the steep climb I'm really strong.
Yes.
I know this. I'm aware. I'm not, and I think I won't never be faster in the downhill. Never. But when in every race I enter, I know that in the downhill maybe I will have some problem because it's not something that I can achieve well. But during the climb, yes, I know. And during the Tour de Geants, but in other race, it happens often to be close to the first man, and they know that. and they recognize, and they maybe they admire this.
Well, I certainly do. I was at Swiss Iron Trail a few weeks ago when Dennis Zimmerman won victory, overall victory, after 38 hours at a terrible race. So, all right. Now, let's come to this year. The race started out beautiful. It was another beautiful fight between you and Emily, very close. I saw you both at Val Grisans, 49 kilometers. You came in first. You went into the medical assistance room. You closed the door. And then Emily came after you, but she didn't stop. Emily passed by the Base Vita. Oops, excuse us. Forget it.
Okay.
Live, as you see. All right. And then the race went on. So as the race went on, the fight was, always tight between you and Emily. And I was sleeping at Cogne. And I left Cogne at 6 to go to Col Lozon and Aurouge with the middle of the pack runners, while you were leaving Cogne just a few minutes before that, at 5 in the morning. Tell us about what happened when you left Cogne. I mean, first, there was an accusation of a runner, Paolo Rossi, that you have taken a car out at Cogne. What data do we have about that accusation?
So, first of all, I know that Emily is a great opponent. So, as I had some problem with my tendon, and because of this, I didn't train the 2 weeks before Tour. I knew that I have a big problem with the quadriceps.
Yes.
And when I arrived in Cogne, I chose not to stop in the Base Vita, because if I stay and maybe I cool down a little, it will be really really difficult to start once again and to be strong. But as I knew that I had 3 kilometers of flat, I need to be really fast. So I went in the base. I say ciao ciao everybody, and I go out. It's okay. When I was running before, I don't know, 200 meters before to go once again in the woods, in the path, I met Nicky Ollon.
Oh yes.
He was
ahead of you.
Ahead, a little ahead.
Because I think you were 5 and 6 or 6 and 7, I think, overall.
And nothing. Ciao ciao, and we were there. Then I continue my race. I just continue my race, and I went to Sogno, and then go down to Donnas. So, and during this part, I was when I arrived in Rifugio Dondena, which is before Chardonnay. I don't know which kilometer. Anyway, I arrived there, and I had a lot of children who asked me to sign autograph, and I was doing that with all the people who were near me. And this man called Paolo Rossi went to me, and he said, he asked me, how was your drive trip from Cogne to Lillas?
Okay.
And I was like this, and I suggested him to call the organization to verify what happened.
Okay, but if I check the time at Cogne, you left before Paolo arrived. Is that correct?
It's correct, but the problem was that he wasn't aware of that. So his problem was that it was convinced to be get out before me. Okay,
so I'll try to talk to Paolo, but as this morning we have read in an Italian newspaper that Paolo now thinks he might be wrong on it. He's not sure. Okay,
it's too late.
That accusation, unfortunately, was published by an Italian media, Ski Alper, that made it public without trying to verify first. And that accusation started going around. So that's one thing. Okay. Now the second thing, which is what has provoked the disqualification, was that according to the Tour de Geants organization, but this is different from it has nothing to do with the car thing, is that you're passing by the checkpoint at Le Gruel is not registered. And the rules say that if you do not register at a checkpoint, you are disqualified.
Sure.
You know the course very well, Francesca. What happened?
I passed in Legoy, and anybody was there, and so I wanted to drink the tea because they are famous for their tea, and I do it by myself because it was my mind. Maybe I'm a little naive. I don't know. It was five and something. So I didn't want to disturb anybody. I told myself, okay, it's possible for me to take the tea.
Okay.
I do it by myself. I drank the tea and I continue.
How many people? I mean, close your eyes. Go. Remember Les Groils. How many people were there as volunteers?
I don't know. And it was anybody was there.
Okay.
Anybody. There was the table. And just the refreshment.
Okay, can you describe how the table was and the refreshment for us? I haven't been to the Gruel.
There were. It's difficult in English. Biscuits.
Yeah, sure.
Always the same biscuits. Chocolate, the black one, and uvette, but I don't know how to see in English. Then Coke and. There was
it a black tent, a white tent? Do you
just the table and something.
Something on.
Like roof.
Okay, which color?
Maybe white, but I don't.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I know that the tea was in a thing like this. It was blue, azzurro. Azzurro.
Okay. All right. So you drank your tea. There was nobody there. You keep going.
I can tell you that there were 2 glasses in plastic, and I first of all I took one, and then I told myself no, I will take a new glass. So from the pack I took a glass. I do like this with the tea, and then.
Okay, so you keep going. I mean, for you, you keep going. You're still fighting against Emily, and the first surprise is when Paolo comes to you and says this. But that was nothing compared to when you arrived at Donas.
Sure.
And then what happened when you arrived at Donas? 149 kilometers, 50 kilometers after Cogne. How do you learn? What happens?
First of all, from the point. In which I met Paolo, the race for me was over, because in my mind, for me it was unbelievable what the
accusation.
It's unbelievable, completely, because I continue to tell everybody that if I need to take a car for winning a race, I don't enter the race, and I respect my opponent, so I will never do something like this. I want to see my face on the mirror every night, and so it's like this. Anyway, I go to Donnas, and I discuss a little with Renato and Marco, and they wanted me to continue the race because they told me, you have anything to
be ashamed of?
Okay. So you have to continue, but in my mind it was impossible, because I'm a little fragile.
Yeah, fragile.
And I didn't have the mood to continue because it was something so bad.
I mean, that I can understand, because we all know that Tour is much more a mental race than a physical one. So if you lose your mental will to fight, you're out. That I understand. So first, you go and consider retiring on your own. But then the organization comes and tells you that you are under official investigation. Who told you that from the organization, and when did they tell you?
They two people with a yellow yeah, and they wanted me to sign this, but I refused to sign something that was really bad, because they at the moment they had nothing really concrete to accuse me, and they just told that I was under investigation, but for the moment they had nothing. So it's not something you can do to someone, because I'm a person. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, the paper they gave to Francesca. In the paper was written that they just started the process of disqualification.
Okay.
It's not just advice. Okay. They started the process of investigation, but they didn't collect all the truths, the proofs at the moment, and they would have informed her when they would be ready.
Okay, so what we have is that first a person, a runner, just posted an accusation and then went straight to Francesca to tell it in her face. So Francesca gets sad and considers retiring on her own, and then on top of that you are informed that investigation is ongoing
with the purpose of disqualification.
Yeah, aimed strictly at your being disqualified. Okay, so after that, obviously you decide not to go on.
Sure.
Okay. Now, from your point of view, what would you think the organization, Paolo is a personal thing, we'll talk to Paolo if possible, the organization, how do you consider as a runner, you run all over the world, you are doing very well at Ultra Trail World Tour. How do you consider the organization should have handled that issue? I mean, you are the organizer, you do not register a runner. How do you think they could have handled it more fairly?
In my opinion, I think that maybe the only thing that they could do was to check immediately all they can. So they had to check at which time I go out from Cogne, and if they look the people who were near me, they had immediately to ask the question.
References.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was simple.
Yeah. In my opinion, but this is personal, let's think first, this race needs GPS trackers.
Sure.
I told the race director, Alessandra, 1 year ago. She has not implemented them. They are implemented at Mont Blanc.
And you know about this, last year I was really angry about all the accusation who were due for me. And I wanted to buy my personal GPS for to prove what I do. But I didn't bought one. But I wanted one. Yeah. Like I would like to have someone who come in my home and do anti-doping. I want someone because I know that I can be faster than Iker in some. I want to prove that it's okay. Okay.
Well, Francesca, of course, we will try to get the side of the story from Alessandra, race director of Geants. We certainly appreciate very much your coming out and telling your side of the story. And there will be other races, you know.
I know.
I suggest you bring your GPS tracker.
Sure.
To all of them from now on. And please, there will be other races. We will see you running. You know, just.
Yeah, I know that there will be other races, but this is anyway a shade.
Will you come back to Tour de Giants?
No, never, never. Never. I don't want my name with Tor des Géants together. It's impossible.
I understand.
It's impossible.
I'm so sorry. It's a lose-lose situation for both of you, but I understand. I understand. Well, thank you very much, Francesca.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Prego.